Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be showing you a video about halal industry in Australia. One Path Network, which is an Islamic network in Australia, did some investigation on halal food industry in Australia, and they found so many things gone wrong, have gone wrong in the industry. So halal food in Australia are not actually halal, but mostly are not actually are haram. Let me remind you, if I don't know if you remember couple of weeks ago I was mentioning a little bit about halal and haram regulation that differs depends on the agency. Because sometimes stunning the chicken or stunning the animals before the slaughter, sometimes haram, some are okay with it. That's one thing. Another thing is like, depending uh, on the agency, they can cut with machine or mechanical blade, and some of them they don't see that as halal because it has to be cut by a knife, by handheld knife. So many regulations are different, depends on the agency. So, but the problem in Australia is more than just that. The problem is deeper and more problematic, I think. Let me show you some of the footage video in the video.
What if everything you knew about what is and isn't halal is totally wrong? What if you found out that the very meat you eat isn't really halal? In a multi-billion-dollar industry such as the halal industry, there are so many hidden disturbing truths that have threatened the integrity of halal meat. It's shocking, but unfortunately a sad reality. Over the last couple of months, One Path Network has launched an investigation alongside industry experts, scholars, and halal certifiers to find out what is truly going on in the halal industry.
Let me stop there, and I think I should let you know what is halal. Meat considered halal if the animal is halal, and if the animal is alive before the slaughter, which is, though you cannot just bring a dead animal and then to the slaughterhouse and then cut it and then deem it as halal. No, it's not halal. It is haram actually. And the knife used has to be sharp to reduce the pain. Another thing is the slaughterman has to be a Muslim or Ahlul Kitab, which is a Jew or a Christian. Let me show you how dodgy is, how easy it is to get a certification, uh, to be a halal certifier in Australia. Let me jump to minute 3 second 22. There you go.
With more and more damning reports of dubious halal certificates coming out, Muslims are beginning to reconsider who they can truly trust in certifying their foods. It's simply not enough to place our reliance on just any halal certifier.
I don't think it's good enough for a Muslim in general just to say, okay, this person is certified and I'm happy with that. It's very important to make sure you recognize what is a true and genuine halal certification, and try to stake out those certification bodies and who they certify and consume those kind of products.
This fact is only aggravated once we consider the sheer amount of halal certifiers currently operating in Australia. The shocking truth is, in the Australian local meat market, anyone can open a halal certification company. In fact, to prove just how easy it is, we've just set up our very own halal certification body with little to no effort. All it took was a few clicks, and now it's ready for issuing halal certification. Any business can apply for a halal certificate if they so wished. It's that easy. Some halal food suppliers have even taken it upon themselves to self-certify their own businesses. To make matters
You hear that? So some some business owner who owns a slaughterhouse, they just go online, make themselves certified as a halal certifier, get the certification online with a few clicks. That way, now their meats, the meats slaughtered by them, are halal. That way, they can make more money because, yeah, you know, it is more expensive, right? Um, I don't know if you remember from my previous video, I also mentioned like stuff like this. I think a couple of times actually, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this ever. About a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I was talking with a coworker. He's a Muslim from India. We were talking about halal and haram. He's like, but he didn't really believe me, and his father passed away. He had to go to India, but he could only get 1 week off that time. So he went back to India from Canada only for 1 week. And the stopover was in UAE. When he came back to Canada, the first the first night, I was working night shift at the time. He said the first night he met me, he said to me, "Daniel, you were right." I was like, "About what?" Remember we were talking about halal and haram? In the airport, duty free, they were selling halal um, halal dates next to liquor. That is crazy. That's what he said. And then that day, that night, he told me after that, he used to work at Popeyes. Popeyes is, for you who don't know what Popeye is a like Kentucky Fried Chicken, like KFC. And some owners are Muslim. This is the story he told me. Some owners are Muslim and they want to sell halal Popeye. And finally, the headquarters say yes. But the problem with that is they were not being honest with the headquarters. For example, one thing is if they sell like, because you have to pay royalty fee per chicken you sell. So now if they buy and sell 1,000 chicken, they didn't tell the right number. They will tell the headquarters it's only 500 chickens or chicken pieces. That way they can keep more money in their own pocket. They only pay royalty fee on 500 chicken instead of 1,000 chicken. So now, uh, imagine how much money, because it's not only like 1 day or that was long time. So it's not only 1,000 pieces of chicken. Oh, we are talking about a lot of chickens here. So many chickens, right? Now, another person, also an Indian, who's Muslim, told me he had a friend also. This different person. This is the second person. Another friend owned Popeye, and then this is what he did. The owner right away opened a butcher shop and make himself certified as a halal certifier. He sell it to himself. So imagine that People are so crooked. Halal industry make people crooked and greedy, even worse, even more greedy than before, and they do it in the name of halal. Now let me continue with the video. I will jump to minute 5:31.
As previously mentioned, one of the conditions of meat being permissible to consume is to ensure that it is slaughtered by a sharp blade. This condition is, however, jeopardized by the introduction of modern laws that require animals to be stunned prior to slaughter.
So, as you may be aware, stunning pre-slaughter is a regulation and law in Australia, so it must be done. With that said, electric stunning is permissible as long as it sits within the guidelines of what the outline is of Sharia.
So, do you actually specify or regulate the electric stunning process?
We do, yes. So there is a level of, for example, volts that must be used. Certain procedures for the animal to regain consciousness, for example, is one very important one, so that the animal doesn't die when it gets stunned.
While most stunning processes would render the animal momentarily unconscious, certain methods of stunning in fact have proven to cause the animal to be killed. This has been shown in the use of gas stunning for chickens, where the effect of stunning are non-reversible and fatal.
الصعق يخدر إما بالماء المكهرب أو الآن بالغاز مثلا. والآن أهل الخبرة والكثير منهم يقول أن هذا الغاز يتسبب في موت الدجاج سواء ذبح أم لا، هو في الأخير ينتهي به الأمر إلى الموت. هذه إشكالية شرعية كبرى جدا، لأن هذه الدجاجة قبل أن تذبح، قبل أن يقطع المريء والحلقوم والودجان، هي في حكم الميتة.
This gassing of the chickens is very problematic. Chickens that are gassed tend to die before you've even slaughtered them. That's problematic.
Does that make them halal to consume?
That becomes haram. The animal has died before slaughtering it as a result of the gassing. It's haram to consume.
You see, guys, most of the animals are dead before the slaughter, and then makes them all haram. And these people they don't care. They're still selling them. The most important, they make money. And people, I've seen so many Muslims are so dedicated. They are so obsessed of eating halal food. Sometimes even to eat a bag of chips, they will read the label on the bag and trying to memorize. Okay, make sure this candy or these snacks do not contain uh, what is that, gelatin from pigs, like pork gelatin, right? Now, I remember a few days ago, if I'm not mistaken, the vaccine for this, the vaccines is we are getting this year for COVID-19 is actually it has some enzyme from pigs. But of course, like I read this from Indonesian newspaper. The Majelis Ulama Indonesia has made fatwa that the vaccine is halal, even though it has like enzyme from pig. This, I mean, like halal and haram is becoming like, yeah, it's haram if you can, but well, what can you do? There's no set the condition change, the regulation change. There's no a real set regulation. To me, this halal and haram anywhere in, I'm just talking about Indonesia and Canada and Australia today. But if you go online, maybe you will find some news about the halal Malaysia has problem with this halal and haram food. Turns out there's corruption inside the meat in halal industry in Malaysia. So anywhere it is like this, a lot of corruption in the industry. People are not, even though seemingly they are Muslim, they're wearing this white cap, bearded, wearing, the guys wearing nice dress, with the slit on the side, but they're not really that believe. They don't actually believe in Allah or God and fear God. No, they don't fear God. They fear nothing. They just want money. They want your money, and the easiest way to get it is through selling halal food. But the thing is, if you are a Christian, you don't really follow this halal and haram, right? Because we know we we know what Jesus said in Bible. Let me read you a couple of verses from Bible. Matthew 15, verse 11. What goes into someone's mouth does not defile them, but what comes out of their mouth, that is what defiles them. So, because what goes into the mouth will come out again, right? But what comes out from our mouth is more important and may or can defile us. Let me read you from the book of Acts. This Peter, when he was sleeping and has a dream, right? And he was dreaming, and then let me read you Acts 10, verse 15. The voice spoke to him a second time. Do not call anything impure that God has made clean. So actually God, well, anything God created is clean. We cannot call it impure or unclean, or in Arabic, I think it's called najis or something. We cannot call that because God does not or didn't create anything impure, right? Now, that's all from me. Thank you for listening and watching. For you, for those who love halal food, God bless you. For those who care what comes out from your mouth rather than what goes into your mouth, God bless you.